Do 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 boo boo. We are back live streaming, and there are a couple things that I wanted to adjust from last night. So I'm gonna put some music on. This is gonna be a quick one. It's not gonna be anything special. There's just a couple things that I realized from last night that we did wrong. As you do, everyone does things wrong, that I should probably correct. I'm just going to open up my chat so that I can see what's going on. Okie dokie. So, sorry. First of all, let's talk about these colors, because so I laid out how many we have, and for starters, let me turn this music down a second. For starters, yesterday I mentioned that if you look at the code, that this one, we were like playing around with it, and I think we got a bit confused, and I was like, well, the closer it is to F, the lighter it is. And then my friend Pete next to me, he was like, well, how come this is number 300? And he was absolutely right. This is actually lighter than this, because obviously it's the closest to FFF, which is white, that we have. So so I laid them out in the sketch document, just in a random, Figma document, just in like a random page, because I'll delete them. And I see like, so these two colors are pretty much like identical. So I'm gonna keep the lighter one, which is this FFF. And then I'll keep the 300 one, which is now gonna be this 200. And then these two colors are so close to being the same as well that I'm gonna remove. I probably want to keep this darker one, and then if there are any variations where I want it to be slightly lighter, I can just use opacity to adjust that. So I'm going to keep this one that's at 500 and then remove the one that's at 400. And then I'm going to rename these, so 100, 200, 300, and then I'm going to keep this at 600 just because it's black, and I'm going to leave some room just in case we want to add like 4 or 5 in different variations later on. But this is looking a lot more neater for me now because we've only got 4 colors. So when we add in or introduce other color scales, we only have to really work on 4 colors. And we could even make a function in JavaScript which automatically darkens and lightens the scale. So you'd pass in like a base color. So let's say 300 is the base color, and then it would automatically generate these two and maybe like 2 darker ones as well. And that way, you can just have like 3 colors on your site, and it will automatically generate a color scale to use on your components for like hover states or box shadows or anything like that. I've got a bad cough today. So now that we've done that, I'm assuming we're going to get some errors if I try to launch this up because we don't have the colors anymore. Let me just check that we have. Okay, so we need to run it first. Always helps. Okay, so I deleted the node modules so that I could compress it up and store it as like a backup. So let's just quickly download the node modules again. So yeah, I thought it would be quite cool. Maybe tonight or maybe after Christmas to make that function where we'd start off with this sort of like base color on the scale. So we'd maybe have like a brand scale, and we'd have like a blue here, and then we'd have like a function which automatically generates 2 darker shades and 2 lighter shades. And then whenever we're using things like inputs, we would say like the text color is this 300, the border is this 100, the shadow is this 200, and things like that. And then we could make a theme prop, and we just pass in like either grayscale or like primary and things like that, and then it would automatically choose the right scale so that it's like exactly the same, just in different colors, which is super cool if you have like success inputs and error inputs for like sort of instant error handling on the API side of things. You can sort of make the input red when the email address is wrong or already in use, and cool things like that. So I feel like that's going to be pretty sweet. So let's just start up this server. and see what errors we have now that we've got rid of some colors. And if we don't have any errors, then, oh, 300 is, oh, okay, so I already have this tab up here, which was just kind of erroring because I had it running, and then I deleted the node modules afterwards and things like that. So then third time lucky. Right, let's see, do we have any errors? If not, we're definitely gonna have to change some things around, because I think now, like, yeah, see, like this is now darker because it should be the lightest color, which now makes a lot more sense. And I'm sorry for yesterday if that didn't make sense to you. So now this input should be the lightest color, like this. And everything else is starting to look okay. So this box shadow is 200. Let's have a look. Yeah, see, I think that looks a lot nicer. And then the button is black still because we just kept that at 600, and we didn't do anything else. Maybe this border here, let's have a look. I might have just hard coded that in as a color. Yeah, I did here. Okay, so let's see. Import theme from theme. And then let's use this theme to generate this color. Also, it looks like it's not indexing because it's not coming up with any auto completions. Sometimes VS Code does this if, like, so for example, my CPU usage is like 20% right now because live streaming, and VS Code takes a while to catch up with some things. But let's see how this 100 looks, and yeah, it looks great. It's hardly noticeable, which is nice. I like things that are subtle. You could argue that again, accessibility is not very good to have this sort of like really light border here. It might not be seen on some quality screens, but we're going to work with all of this stuff later. I just felt a lot more comfortable only having a color scale of 4 shades in, especially at this early stage, until we automate it at least, and then have like automatic color scales. So I think that's gonna be it. Like, I'm just gonna stop the stream here, and I'm gonna say to you guys that we're gonna be live streaming again tonight, and we're gonna be continuing on with this project. And I just want you guys to basically comment in below to like what you want me to do next, because I could continue on designing this front end, which would be quite fun. We can have this sidebar, and we can have the content area and another sidebar. We can make icons in these sort of inputs and buttons, which, by the way, this centered icon here on this input might be a bit hard to work out how to do, but we'll get there. And yeah, so I could either do front end, or I could start on the back end now, and I could basically introduce some of the node.js server, boot that up, maybe have some config endpoints, which maybe pulls some configuration from the back end so that we automatically load them into the front end. Because when we work on the back end, it will sort of like set us up for working with Redux and a shared state on this front end, so that we can access all of the state that we pull from the back end globally on each component. And then we can do things like having a logged in and logged out header. But saying that, I also think it's important to get all of these elements coded out. Like, for example, I can see that this is like a slightly blue color, so I'm feeling like this designer hasn't changed things globally and hasn't made things into components. I don't understand why, but which is, it's kind of annoying, because it means that, like, on this page this is a black button, but is that meant to be the primary color now? So yeah, I'm going to assume that this is the primary color, and I'm going to add in another color scheme, another color scale, just like this one, and then sort of show you how we can pass in a theme to the button so that we can make it all different colors, and same with inputs and all of that cool stuff. So yeah, I think this is going to be ending here. Sorry that it was so brief, but how long did it go on for? Yeah, so like 9 minutes. So yeah, I'm going to end it here. I'm going to come back later. I'm going to read your comments, if any. If not, then I'm just going to continue this front end anyway, as I feel like that might be the best thing to do. So yeah. look forward to seeing you guys later, and my friend should be back later. And yeah, we're gonna work through this. So see y'all later.